couple of weekends ago, I took a trip out towards Vyskov and beyond, hoping to track the Templar line further than we had in the past. You can see on this map where I stopped, and points 1 and 2 turned out not to be the Templar line at all, and in fact I ended up mapping 2 or 3 lines that day, as you can see from this map. The Templar line is the one with the red and blue, and the other points do not belong to the Templar lines but to other Type 4 lines in the vicinity. Anyway, I started out at Otaslavice, and there I was attracted by this church. I soon discovered that a pair of Type 4 lines ran through this area. The positive male line ran through the Church of St Andrew, a 16th century church in which tombstones of the founders are inlaid in the walls. But the church actually existed in 1286 as part of a fortified court of the Knights of St John. Here's one of those tombstones. The female line ran a little bit further away past the church buildings, as normal, through this playground and school. From here I backtracked a little bit to try to find the Templar line and stumbled on this most amazing discovery at a place called Pustimersh. Here I discovered another church, and in the grounds of the church, the Rotunda of St Panteleon. What would have been a very large building for its time indeed, this church was in existence during the Slavic period in the 1100s and 12th century, being situated on an important trade route and next to the Slavic fortress of Zelena Hora. The location was very important during the Slavic era and beyond, and in the 13th century a monastery was sited here as well, a Benedictine monastery, of which only small remnants remain. It's now the site of a small chapel and a very large modern church. 2 Type 4 lines pass through the site, as you might imagine, and this is not the Templar line either, it's another line that I'm currently working on. The small chapel of St Anne dates back to around 1340, whilst the Church of St Benedict is somewhat newer and was built in the 1900s. Not only is this hidden gem of Slavic and even earlier history something that attracts a few tourists, it also attracts the religiously devout. Certainly there is an energy in the location given to it by these 2 energy lines, and once again the Slavs seem to know that these energy lines were there. From there it was on to Otaslavice, where we'd been before, to the tower on the hill and the twin castles that lie on the 2 lines. Here the Templar line runs and crosses, actually, and forms a vortex at this tower object, which affords wonderful views of the area, including the church on one side and the old Slavic hill fortress on the other. I spent quite a lot of time here because there's 2 lines, the Templar and another, and I was trying to establish which one was which and where they ran. I was able to establish that the church is on the male line of the non-Templar line, that the tower is on the vortex of the Templar line, but I'm going to have to go back because I couldn't find the other female line, and not in this vicinity anyway, so I have a gap on my map that I need to fill. So I shall be going back to Otaslavice. It's a beautiful place and I really enjoy going there anyway, so it's no big deal. I then continued to follow the Templar line through the countryside, tracking it much further towards the Polish border than I ever had before. I then tracked the Templar pair of lines very carefully indeed through the village in order to try to really establish what was going on there. It led me through some parts of the village that perhaps I'd never been to before, nor would I have ever have gone to, but that afforded wonderful views of the surrounding countryside. And I marvelled at the fact that this statue and arrangement of angels was actually situated on the Templar line, as was this little memorial to the twin saints who founded the Slavic Christian Church in this part of the world. It always amazes me how things are positioned on these lines, and it makes you wonder how people know these lines are there. After all, it takes me a lot of work dowsing just to figure that out. And here's what that looks like in some detail. you can see that there's actually 2 or 3 lines in this area. A couple of them need further work, but my purpose was to follow the Templar line, which I finally did, and managed to take it much further in the direction of the Polish border. This last weekend I even moved it further along, and that will be the subject of the next video that I make in this series. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for supporting this channel. Do please like and share at YouTube, and visit the website if you have an inclination. Thank you.